Hey everyone, welcome to the demo scene for the accessories Pack PBR. That's what these are right here. A whole bunch of rings, some basic rings, but then these hero rings, some gems, rivets, amulets, necklaces for those, and bracers. I want to go through what these are and exactly how to use them because they're not just what they are on the surface, there's more to them. So let's start with this bracer here. This bracer is a pretty nice little bracer. We can get the camera there. But it's got these little spots here on the side. And each one of these is a gem spot. And you can see here we've got the child, 4 different gem slots. And each one you can just drag a prefab of one of the gems right into it. So if we go to the prefabs and gems, we've got a whole bunch of different gems here. Each one has an old and a new version of 4 different looks, sort of a sapphire, sort of a ruby, diamond, and maybe an onyx or something like that. And we've got different shapes. So I'm just going to go to get one of these shapes here. Do the red ruby look. And I'm just going to drag these in here. And as you can see, they just kind of sit right where they're supposed to be for this object. So now we've got little gems there. Now this goes beyond. Each one of these is, or almost all the objects, not all the gems aren't something we can customize. Whoops. But these are something we all have blend shapes on these, and if you click the reload if you don't see them, you've got options here. So the goal here is to get these to fit pretty much any character, even if it's not one of my own. And so we've got options. You can of course scale if you want to get this on something. You can scale up and down, and that's nice. So it doesn't actually have too many. You can just scale. You can't get too close to your actual object. So with this option here, we have a thickness of the leather itself, so you can go for a more thick or thin look. You also have a length option and a rim thickness option, so you can get that cuff more detailed if you want, or less. And then let's see how one of these might fit onto a character with I'm gonna bring one of the longer ones on here. So I've got my elf character here, and we already have this arm straps and arm armor, and we're gonna remove those, and we'll move the manica as well. So we're now get the bare arm. I want to bring one of these prefabs onto the arm. So what I'm going to do is come to, instead of the armor section, I'm going to go to the bone route here. Just keep expanding this on the spine, and then eventually the collarbone until I get to the forearm. And if we expand that all out, we got forearm 2 and forearm 3. So you can see where those are, and then palm. So I'm going to choose forearm 3. Go to my prefabs for bracers. Choose one right C. Put that right there. So obviously this bracer doesn't work as of right now, and so I'm going to start by just adjusting that. I'm going to rotate it a little bit, and then slide it up a little bit and bring it down, and we're going to adjust this over time. But even if I scale it down, it's still not going to be really that perfect. Scale it down a little bit, and that's a little bit better, but it's not perfect. I want it to be a little bit more perfect. So I'm going to go into my blend shapes here. And again, if you don't see them, just click the reload blend shapes button. And then we've got 2 options here. One is for the diameter. So it's similar to scale, but it's more accurate for the diameter itself. And the other option is for the width of the back. So obviously forearms tend to be bigger on the elbow than the wrist. So using those two, hey, I did a pretty good job. Using those 2 combos together, you can get a pretty decent match here. It's still not perfect, so we'll bring that over a little bit. Bring this diameter up a little bit more so it's a better fit. And then check the back to make sure that's a good fit. And that looks about right. So now we've got the bracer equipped. I'm going to do something similar with the rings. So we've got the palms and the fingers here. If you look down, if we look down at the objects here, we've got all these nice rings, and each one of these, except for the band, has a ring spot as well, or a gem slot rather. So I'm going to take one of these and bring it up there. I kind of like the this claw one, and I also like this one with the multiple gem slots. So I'm going to take the claw maybe. Which one's this? 4, 2. I'm going to go up, look at the rings or the fingers, and I see in my my bone structure I've got the different fingers. So if I want to get this first finger, okay, index finger, oops, that is not the index finger, that's the middle finger. There we go. So if I want to put that, probably attach it to this bone or this bone. We'll go with the knuckle. Go to my rings again. Go to my prefabs and look at the rings, and I think it was 4. Nope, not 4. Is it 5? Ring 4. So ring 4, there's the claw. And bring that down, and now again I can scale it, which is probably a good way to start. I'm just going to scale it down a little bit, and then there's options for the blend shapes as well. We've got ring 4 options here. There's quite a few. We've got the circumference. Now this is the circumference of the ring without changing the top. So if you have a character with particularly fat fingers, you can adjust for that there. And then we also have some options for the top itself here. We can change the grip, move that in and out. We can adjust the grip size, whether it's closed or not, whether it's more open or not, and then the spread itself of the fingertips there. So what I'm going to do is add a gem here because I think it would look better with a gem. So we're going to add maybe, let's see, let's try 3 new. So I'm just going to bring that right down there. And now we see it there. I can scale that as well. The gem does not have blend shapes on it, but if I don't want to scale that too much, if I select the ring, of course, I can then adjust the ring shapes itself to better suit the gem I'm using. Alright, so now we got a blue gem in the ring, and from further away you can kind of see it on the ring finger of the character there. It's a great way to just get some extra bling onto the character, especially if you want to do close-ups without having to. Yeah. So now we've got the ring and the bracer on. We also have these amulets on necklaces here, which is another cool thing. Let me just show you some of those because I actually think these are my favorite parts. So we've got all these amulets, and they're really good in close-ups. There's multiple texture sets for each one, and all of these, of course, come with this Substance Painter file, so you can customize them even more. And so I'm gonna add a couple of these onto my character. I'm gonna add one of the Amulet 1 and Amulet 5. Maybe I'll just add one from each. So first, let's look at the necklaces. These are all the same. They have just different textures on them, sort of leather and sort of metal, and then this these other two looks a little bit of a rope look, and this is also metal. So I'm going to go with a leather look. I'm just going to take Amulet Chain A, and we're going to throw that around the neck. Again, this is best suited probably on the bone. And so take down the rib cage, spine, somewhere there's the neck. There we go. So let's use the neck of the character. We'll take the Amulet Chain A, attach that right there. I have to adjust the rotation a little bit. Okay, and we'll kind of move it up so that it's visible around the neck and rotate a little bit more. This is one of those things where you're going to have to do it for your character and the wardrobe they're wearing, because it's going to be different for every character, and that's one of the key aspects to the way I've designed this. Is I want it to work with every character, regardless of who that character is. So now we've got the amulet chain A, and let's put some of the amulets on the character itself. So I'm going to just select version A from all 5, put that there, and they should line up to the amulet, right to the correct pivot point. And then again, based on the wardrobe we've got on, you've got to adjust the positioning, but they should all pivot appropriately to match that. So we'll just do these one at a time, just to get those working properly. Alright, so let's start with amulet 1. Just take a closer look at this one. So we've got these snakes here. This is one that has a gem slot. So just real quick, I'm just going to bring a gem in. Not sure which one this is, but let's bring that in. So we got a oval gem, so that's nice. Doesn't match the circle as clearly, but I think from far away, if we move the camera around there, it's perfectly fine. All right, so one thing you might notice is, oh, hey, that necklace is quite thick. Luckily, as you might expect, we have some blend shapes for that. So we're gonna reload the blend shapes. We have, this is for the amulet. Here's a chain. There we go. So we have the chain. Now what you're seeing here is the amulet 1, because the blend shape script will take the child of everything underneath it that's active. So in this case, it's saw that there's blend shapes on the amulet as well, so you can modify them both on this object, which is nice. So you've got some options here on adjusting the neck, so you can adjust the back of the neck without adjusting the front, and that was helpful for wardrobe changes and other changes. So and also the space there, so if you've got a character with a larger neck or something. Then you also have the width as well. In this case, we might actually want to bring the width in a little bit. And then you've got the thinner. This is where you get the thickness of the necklace to match the holes. So if we bring that there, now you've got a necklace that matches. Now you also have a necklace that's going down here. So let's see if there's any of our blend shapes that can adjust for that. That could bring up like that. Whoops. There we go. So we can do that. And if we then bring the this down a little bit and out a little bit. There we go. Rotate the whole thing. Bring it down. There we go. So now we got a necklace there, and we have all the amulets here. In fact, let's turn them all on. And if we go to the amulet chain, reload the blend shapes, you'll see all the amulet options here. So if we turn, for instance, off all but 5, we can then see that for amulet 5, we have options for the raised center and a thickness of these things. And obviously in most cases, even from far away, from even this medium shot right here, you're really not going to see too much of a difference. But the point is to be able to get the close-up. So you can do a close-up of this amulet and really see the details. And that's when I think these different blend shapes really start to matter, where the block size, and the depth of it really start to shine. Because then you can really just get a unique look that's more tuned to what you're trying to get through to your players. Alright, so now that we've got those there, let's give it a try and see what it looks like when the character is animated. Alright, so as we are attached to bones, there's going to be potential issues with animations. In this case, the bone is being pushed out. So you've got options there. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let me just reset that or remove it for now. So you've got these options here. You could simply adjust the positioning and basically adjust the transform, save it, do copy component. When you press pause, paste component values, and when you press play again, I'm not sure what's going on there. And then when you press play again, it's at the right position. That's probably, a decent way of doing it. If we go to our animator for the character, and do different idle break. See how it moves. So now we do know there's a problem actually, that the necklace is moving with the neck, but that means that the idle break is moving to the side with the bone, and that's not what we really want, is it? So our options are to choose a different bone or to attach it to the wardrobe so it's just stuck. For instance, we could take this amulet and go to our elf armor and make this a child of the curious instead. And then when we do the animations, it's not going to move. So that might be a better option. It really depends on your project and what you have going on. And then we got the bracer on the side and the finger as well. So if we watch those, let me just adjust the camera again. If we watch those during an animation, you can see how they move with the character. And there's always a chance, these are not rigged, so there's always a chance if you have a bend in the arm or something that it could like cut through a little bit, but for the most part these are just going to stay stacked to the bone, and you won't have any issues with the animations, or not too many issues. And again, yeah, there's the amulet. So the trick with the amulet is to find out where to parent it appropriately so that it simply doesn't move with animations that you don't, or move in ways you don't want it to move in different animations. So that one's clearly doing something funky with the curious there. All right, so that's the accessories pack PBR. Let me know what you think. Have a great day. Thanks.